Okay, I'm recalling to order the zoning hearing officer meeting for today, June 5. It's just past 2:30. And the first item on the agenda is public comment. We have someone with us who wishes to make public comment. So can I ask you to identify yourself and give us your comment? If you have any exhibits that you want to present, just present them during the course of your statement. Okay,
Thank you very much. Should I face you or face there?
well, there's no one there,
Oh,
but if you
okay.
prefer
it's a
to
recording.
not face me, that's okay.
All right, hello, my name is Connie Schmidt. I live in Warrenville, Illinois. I'm a resident of DuPage County. I'm here as a concerned citizen and as the chair of the River Prairie Group of Sierra Club. We are concerned that healthy native habitats are dwindling, and as a result, many species are in remission as well. The reason specifically I'm here to talk to you is about honeybees and unincorporated DuPage. It's actually, although we like honeybees because I love honey, they are a threat to our native bee population. Honeybees are an introduced species and a managed livestock. They are endangered. They are not endangered, and they are tended and cared for by their owners. The current zoning is wonderful. It's appropriate. It's a farm. It's like a farm animal. Treats them as a farm animal, very similar to chickens. But unlike chickens, the 30,000 worker bees per hive leave their enclosure and then they forage widely. They are capable of foraging 2 miles from the hive, which creates a 12 square mile forage area. They are gathering food from the public and private land. The Xerces Society, and that's that's the premier insect society in the world, actually, has stated that one study calculated that over a period of 3 months, a single hive collects as much pollen as could support the development of 100,000 native bees. Recent research shows that native bee populations are declining due to the loss of food and also disease. Honeybees are known for the spread of the diseases and parasites. An example, the rusty patch bumblebee is now listed as endangered, and others are under consideration for listing as well. Native bees are effective crop pollinators. For example, bumblebees can pollinate many things that honeybees cannot. But bumblebees pollinate tomatoes, eggplants, peppers. Honeybees do not. Our largest agricultural crops here in Illinois are soybeans and corn. Neither of those rely on bees. Beehives are not allowed on any of our forest preserve district properties, except for one, that's Clan Creek Farm, because they're there as an educational exception. So the forest preserves are very concerned about bees as well. But we are not against honeybees. I applaud people who want to do native things. It's just that you need more space. They need more space in order to have plenty of their own plants planted to support the bee population. Our suggestion is that you keep the zoning as it is currently stated. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you today.
Thank you very much. Let's go off the record. I'm not really supposed to comment about public school. I'm going to resume the public hearing and start our hearing group of hearings to be considered today. The first item is 24024 Retorsky. This petitioner has requested an additional continuance in order to resolve some issues concerning his petition. I understand with the Township Highway Department. So I'm going to grant an additional continuance till 7/10/24 at 2:30 in the afternoon in this room or by Zoom. Now I will call the 24029 Molex real estate case, and we'll bring those people in from our waiting.
Well, so I can check who just popped in the Zoom.
Sure.
Well, there.
No.
Oh.
Is this YouTube or just record?
Hello, my name's Jessica. I'm with DuPage County. I just saw you joined the Zoom. I wanted to make sure which case you were here for. We have 3 up this afternoon. Molex, Bates, and Krug. And Shearer, can you hear me? Well, I'll just bring them in for all this evening. Molex, yes. Hi, everyone. 1 second. Hi, Courtney. I wasn't sure if I checked in with you for Bates. You're here for the Bates petition, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm just gonna place you back in the waiting room. We're just doing one case before that. One
Okay.
moment.
Thank you.
Okay,
Somebody else joined from Molex, Miles. I'm not sure if he jumped on. I saw his name up here.
hold on there a second. I'm now calling 24029, the Molex Real Estate Holding case. This is a request for conditional use to allow a principal recreational use for walking paths. There are a number of properties, totally they comprise approximately 10.25 acres. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on May 21, 2024, and I have no objections or comments from any of the authorities to whom we have presented this petition. I don't have any exhibits yet. Can I have the exhibits? While I'm getting the exhibits, what I have, just two? Okay, I have just two exhibits. The first is a survey of the several properties, and the second is a site plan. Well, it purports to be a site plan, but it doesn't, I mean, it's sort of an unofficial drawing of what maybe is the intended area of the walking paths, but we're gonna have to clean that up if this proceeds favorably. So I'll take those two exhibits and then I'll ask the petitioner to identify, were there two people that are part of the petitioner's group?
I have 3 people on for Molex, Miles, myself, and Alyssa.
Okay, would you identify yourselves and tell us what your role is?
My name is Eddie Oseguera. I am the Lyle Molex Facilities Manager.
My name is Alyssa Garcia. I am the Molex Lyle Facilities Coordinator.
Okay. Who's the other person?
Miles is on, and he's our real estate guy, Molex Real Estate.
All right, I don't know what Molex is, so when you tell me you're a facilities manager, does that mean you're familiar with zoning issues or?
I am not. No, Molex. We are a business in Lyle, Illinois, and we were working with the stormwater department. We submitted these drawings to stormwater, and they recommended we have some new drawings made, which we're in the process of working. We had an architect out 2 weeks ago doing some stuff to get the proper drawings together, or something that's a little nicer than what we provided.
Here, let me start with this. I understand that you want to have walking paths from your petition. In order to have walking paths, it's been determined that you need a conditional use to grant a recreational use. So it's a recreational use for walking paths. Conditional use cases have conditions. And I mean, our time limits and various other conditions. So somebody's gonna have to give us a presentation rather than say, well, we want to have some walking paths. Who's gonna make the presentation?
I can provide you the same drawings and kind of go over what we're trying to do. You know, we were working with the DuPage County. I was working with a couple different people and, you know, trying to get this all set up properly. You know, we've already got this approved to the village of Lyle, the walking paths. So some of our property lays in Lyle, some of our property is in the county.
Okay. I don't think, it doesn't sound like you're familiar with zoning procedure.
You know, I've been following the direction of who I've been speaking to in the DuPage County. You know, they set this call up. I wasn't 100% sure, you know, what this was going to entail. This is my first time ever taking one of these calls. I mean, would it be best if maybe we reschedule this with,
Well, I don't care if we reschedule it. You just have to present a zoning case. I can't really say, well, he's working with the county and everything seems to be okay with whoever he's working with, so I'm gonna approve it.
that's not what I'm saying. So, you know, We have about 60 acres on our Molex property. We've been acquiring properties over the years. The properties that we've acquired, we've basically restored back to their factory states, grass, making them basically natural. We tore down the last house on the property about 3 months ago. And during that process, we did lay a couple paths down, and they refused to finalize the demolition permit of 2440 Burlington. So in order for them to give the demolition company their bond, the county of DuPage came back to us and said, if you want us to release this bond, you need to start the permitting process for these walkways. And that's kind of how we ended up here.
And the permitting process then requires zoning relief?
Correct. When we put in our original application, they told us it needed to be a recreational permit,
Yeah.
and that's what we submitted for.
Did you get a package of what you need to present at this hearing?
I got a couple of things on the.
The
I saw
the requirements for conditional uses, etc.
Yes, there was like 7 or 8 items on the bottom
Yeah.
of the. Correct. So that was.
Okay, let's start with this. I know you said you all work for Molex and you're a business. I presume you're a business. But what does the business do?
We manufacture electronic components. We're actually the corporate campus for Molex. We're a worldwide business.
Okay. And on these properties, they have recently been assembled. These 10 different lots have been assembled, or however many there are. There's quite a number.
Yeah, the lots have been acquired over multiple years. There's one property left kind of in our Molex area that has not been sold to us. But, we had existing walking paths on our property, and we decided to extend them and add like wildflower gardens for our employees to be able to utilize the entire property, or be able to kind of walk around and, during lunch, things like that. So it was mainly recreational. We originally went in with
Is it fenced? Are these properties fenced?
they are not fenced, no.
Are members of the public permitted on the property or just your employees?
It's for just our employees. I mean, if somebody walks on them, we're not going to harass them, but they're mainly for our employees.
So the intended purpose is for employee recreation during break periods, et cetera. Is that right?
Correct.
Well, how about like Sunday morning? What happens if nobody's working?
Employees have access to our campus 24/7. We have workout facilities. We have basketball courts out there. So our employees all have access to our facilities 24/7.
All right. Are there any pole lights that are proposed in this area?
No lights proposed in the area.
Are the walking paths paved or gravel or what?
Crushed red gravel.
What's the landscaping in the area?
It's basically natural for the most part. There's grass in the homes that have been restored. Closer to Beaubien, it's just kind of natural growth, trees. We did add some wildflower gardens as well, just to bring in pollinators and make it a little nicer in that area. But, it's just oaks and trees, grass, a couple weeds.
Okay. Well, I can't really, I'm not in favor of or opposed to this case at this moment, but I cannot proceed with a site plan that is just sort of yellow highlights, kind of scribbled on the survey, because I need to know exactly where the site plan has to be precise, in other words.
Correct. When I met with Stormwater 2 weeks ago, the following week, I believe it was not this Monday, but the previous Monday, I did have engineers out, and they were basically going to put this all on one map and lay out the path. So that's a much cleaner, presentation.
Who was?
Patrick Engineering was out.
Oh, Patrick Engineering. I thought you said
Correct.
stormwater. I thought you were talking about the stormwater department.
Stormwater Department is who recommended that I have Patrick Engineering come out to lay out the map so they're not highlighted like they are there. So I should have those results back shortly.
Okay, fine. Are there any buildings in the area, sort of the open area that's for employee recreation? There
There's
any
no-
buildings whatsoever?
No buildings whatsoever on that site, no.
Okay, I want to hear from members of the public. I don't know if any of you support the petition, or if you're opposed to the petition, or if you're like me and just trying to figure out what's going on. So is anyone in the public that was sworn in want to make a statement about this case? There's only one. Lori? Did you make a statement?
No, I came just to hear what it was about. I live on the other side of the tracks and was
Okay.
interested in what was going on.
Okay. Well, so am I.
I
I'll tell you
still
what,
can't,
Why
I
don't we,
still can't tell.
can we continue your case till July 10? Just so, I mean, I guess I mean, you can supplement the record with any additional testimony on July 10, but perhaps you can just submit the drawing that Patrick Engineering is doing. Is that consistent with a timetable that works for you?
Yeah, I don't see that being an issue. We're pretty far along on this process, so I think once we get the final drawings from Patrick Engineering, it'll really put it into perspective for you.
Okay, so July 10, okay with you?
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your testimony today. I'll close the hearing for today and continue the matter till July 10 at 2:30. Same process.
We'll be better prepared now that I have a better understanding of it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the Bates case. This is 24-027. We have a request for a variation to increase the total floor area ratio on the subject property from the permitted 35%, which would be 2,135 square feet, to approximately 39.6 percent, which would be approximately 2,415 square feet for a new house with a detached garage. Properties in Milton Township, and we have a 6,100 square foot lot, actually two lots, which combined are 6,100 square feet. This case is published in the Daily Herald on May 21, 2024, and I have no comments or objections from the neighboring municipalities or authorities to whom we've sent this petition. You were not sworn in. Are you the petition? Is this the petition?
No, they're not.
Petitioners online. Who are you?
I'm a neighbor and live right behind it property.
Okay. Are you, if you're gonna make a statement, I have to have you sworn in. You're just here to figure out what's going on?
I'm just nosy.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
excellent. Okay, who's presenting the case?
My name is Joseph Palettis from DuPage Architects in Wheaton, and I have with me the owner, Dan Bates.
Okay, and just for the record, I think I noticed that both of you were sworn in.
I don't think we actually did that part. We weren't aware we had to do that or not, so. If you want
to be sworn in.
to.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do. And can you each state your name and give us your address?
Yep, I'm Joseph Palettis. I reside in Lyle at 4418 Beaumont Drive, Unit 204 in Lyle.
Okay.
I'm Dan Bates. My address is 148 South Prospect Street in Wheaton, Illinois.
And the third person?
I'm Mike Bates. I'm of course, Dan's brother. I won't be testifying. I am just listening on the case.
All right, great. Then who's the chief presenter here?
I'll be doing the presentation if it requires a presentation here.
Okay, I have, looks like I have a survey, which is exhibit number 1, a site plan. Well, it's not a site plan because it doesn't show any structure. And then some cross-section and construction details. That's the house right there. This is the new house. Okay. All right, and then, something that I'll take as 3, which is cross-section and construction details. Not sure if I need that, but we'll find out. Now, I understand these lots share a common address to the property to the north. I'm not gonna resolve that in any way. You're gonna have to, if you build on this and create effectively 2 separate structures, you're gonna need 2 addresses, but I'll let you resolve that elsewhere. And then go right ahead, sir. Make your presentation.
Okay, so we submitted a lot of our argument on the application for this. I can read that for you if that's, but I think you have the full write-up there.
I don't have any.
What was that?
These exhibits.
Yeah, so we have, it's, my understanding is that it's zoned R4, but it doesn't quite meet the R4 zoning threshold to be, because it was maybe a plot made in the 20s potentially, is what someone in the county had said to me. Had it met the R4, I think what my point is that the R4 requirements on floor area ratio shouldn't really apply to this lot based on that, because the lot is not quite R4 in the constraints of an R4 when we combine the 2. And so the 35% is just an unrealistic requirement in my opinion. Secondly, the adjacent properties have higher lot coverages than what we are proposing, because we chose a raised ranch floor plan when a lot of those houses on the street have a split level home, which include a crawl space. And I think that our house takes up less footprint, but it accomplishes a better task at allowing more square footage of the basement by doing the raised ranch instead of a split level. And we do have half the basement sunken into the ground still, so it's not like it's a really high house. It's a very low house, still just a 1-story. And then the last part is that we understand that there's an opportunity to do an attached garage behind it, but due to the grading of the property, it's a much more expensive route to do that, and it's not feasible for the homeowner.
Well, you really haven't recited the required hardship, unique circumstance, or practical difficulty, but let me just, it's my understanding that you need this extra couple of 100 square feet.
Yes, and that
are, because the basement, which would not otherwise be counted in the square footage, is counted because you have a raised ranch. Is that essentially what your case is about?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
You would not need the relief for this FAR if the basement square footage was not counted in the FAR. It is counted because it's a raised ranch and the basement is partially above grade, and so therefore it counts in FAR rather than a basement, which doesn't count.
That is correct.
It's a unique circumstance, right?
Right. I heard that if we were to lower it, which again, we've explored this possibility to where more than 50% of the basement is below grade. We're right on the cusp. We're almost at 50% below grade. But if we just were able to lower it a few more inches, we would be there, and it's unfortunately not feasible also. But
Tell me why not.
again, the slope of the site, it slopes down at the back, so it's well under 50% in the front of the house, but at the back, the grade slopes down, so it's not.
Okay, great.
We could raise the grade in the back.
That's
and it
all
would
I
be-
need. Don't, you know what? I'm where I need to be. Let me hear from Ms. Priest. Do you have any comments?
I don't. I just wanted to listen in as a neighbor.
Okay. And the same with the lady here. All right, sir. Oh, Nicole, you wanna? you have any
Oh, no, I
comments?
was just gonna say I'm listening in as well. I don't have any comments, but thank you.
Okay, well. Well, I'm not really supposed to be the one that makes the case, but I understand what your request is, and I'm ready to close the hearing.
Not sworn in, but now I do have a question.
Well, you can ask a question without
Okay.
being sworn in.
Okay.
Tell us your name and address.
My name is Eileen Buckley and I reside at 0S061 Leonard Street in Winfield. And my question is the grade, being the property right behind this section, that grade coming down, we do have occasional flooding. Concerned about this building, the impact of any flooding onto our.
Well, there are pretty strict stormwater regulations, so through the permitting process, they'd have to satisfy the fact that they're not going to introduce any additional
Okay,
drainage on your property. But you know what? Take it up with the stormwater department to make sure that they understand what's going on, okay? All right,
thank you.
well, that's all we have, so I'll close the hearing. You'll get a decision in the next couple of weeks, and then the matter goes to the County Development Committee and finally the full county board for a final determination. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I'll call zoning petition 24031, the Krug petition. This is a series of variation requests. First is variation to reduce the corner side setback from 30 feet to approximately 18 feet for an existing carport to remain on the property. Number two, a variation to reduce the corner side setback from 30 feet to approximately 22 feet for an existing shed to remain on the property. Number three, a variation to reduce the corner side setback from 30 feet to approximately 6 feet for an existing parking space. The property's in Milton Township. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on May 21, 2024. And it's been circulated to various authorities. The village of Carroll Stream objects, and they presented a letter in that regard. I have one exhibit presented by the petitioner in advance of the hearing, which is a 2013 survey with some pencil sketches on it. I'm not going to accept this as a final. I don't know if this is going to proceed favorably or unfavorably, but to the extent that it proceeds favorably, I'm going to need an updated survey showing everything that's on the site. And then, are you going to testify, sir? Are you Mr. Krug?
Yes, I am.
Would you raise your hand and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, tell us your name and address, please.
Name is John Krug, Krug.
All right, and your
The
address?
is 1N 010 Morris, MORSE. Street, Hero Street,
All right,
180.
and that's the subject property.
Yes,
Yeah, how long have you lived there?
11 years.
Who do you live there with?
My wife.
And, tell me what's going on? Why do you, request this variation?
Well, I keep my boat on the side of the house there. And to start out, I was parking it just on the grass. It started to tear up the grass, so I threw some gravel in there. And I was told when I applied for a different permit that I have to make that blacktop. So I applied for this. And that's where we're at. The carport's been there since, it's inside my fence. It's inside the property. It doesn't hinder any vision for anybody at that intersection. If anything would have been my fence, which was approved 10 years ago. So it doesn't affect anyone's vision. It's merely to cover the boat. And I asked 10 years ago if I could put a garage there, put a third garage door on that side. And I was told you couldn't, because something's running in there. So that's why I did the gravel too, so for the permeable situation. And then I realized now that they want that to be blacktop. So this is an updated thing. I mean, people, I understand people in the community, a lot of them will just park their boat in their driveway all the time. And me being on a corner like that, I just think that'd be a very good spot for it, for my sake. And I don't think it would look very good if I had a boat sitting in. I mean, my driveway's long enough to handle a boat, and my car would probably get around it from the garage.
Okay, do you have a current survey, are you telling me?
This one, I believe, may be better than what you have, this proposal. And the other thing that's being proposed here is my driveway. I had asked in the blue for 10 feet. When Cahill built a home, they evidently didn't put enough hard rock underneath the blacktop. And when my wife drives in on her side of the garage, it is now dipped. So the car actually goes like this. My sister-in-law almost tripped, fell on her face walking in the garage. So if you were to allow me to do this asphalt, I'm also going to have the company that does it, which is approved by your county. Can't think of the name of it. But they said that I should just do the whole driveway. So I'm asking to.
Well, I don't know if that's, permitted. I'm not, that is not before me, extending the driveway or.
No, I'm not extending the driveway. I'm gonna have that torn up and replaced. Because it's.
The existing driveway.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about the shed.
Shed is a 7 by 6.5 or something like that. It's not even, according to the county book, it doesn't need a permit, but the girl told me it was a little too close to the house. So I can move it up 10 feet. That's not gonna be easy, but I can do that. She said something about.
How long has it been there?
We got that probably about 9 years ago.
And, what's the condition of the shed?
Looks fine. It's that plastic resin. It's not one of those metal rustlers.
What's the base of the shed?
We put it on a wooden platform which sits on cement blocks.
Well, it's, in the corner side, the setback has to be 30 feet. It apparently is approximately 22 feet. Can you move it 8 feet?
Yeah. I can give it a try. I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll have to take it all apart, put it all back together.
Well, I mean, I would have some sympathy to give you, like, you know, a 5-year extension as a conditional use on the shed. If it's been there for more than 5 years, not a variation, because a variation lasts forever.
Right. Well, her biggest concern to me, which makes, out of all of this, makes more sense to me than anything is that people put gasoline cans in the shed. And the shed is at the moment kind of close, you know, the corner of the house is, here. And the shed, or here's the corner of the house, and the shed is only about 2 feet from the house. So I understand that. And she said something about putting fire retardant material inside the shed.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No, that didn't sound.
And the other things, you're requesting variations. Variations last long after you sell the house. So, you know, I can't reasonably consider, nor will I think it would be approved at the county board level to grant variations to facilitate the parking of your boat. You know, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't make much sense out of this. I might republish this as, well, I don't even know if you have to republish it. Like I say, the shed, if it's too close to the house because of fire concerns, then that's simply gonna be denied.
Well, I can move it 8 feet, it'll be 10 feet from the house.
Well, then you won't need the variation. If you move it 30 feet.
Right, I was gonna go ahead and do that in this interim time that this is taking place, but I was told not to do anything until we had this meeting.
Okay, so that you'll do something yourself and probably withdraw. And the other items, the carport and the parking space, what's the parking space for?
It's not a parking space, it would be laying blacktop. You know what might help you understand this better? Bigger picture's worth 1,000 words. If you don't mind. This is my garage. This is the gravel that I laid. That's the carport, that's the fence. The fence opens up, it's a 10-inch, 10-foot gate. And so I back in there. And I mean, I can do it all without the carport and put grass back in there, but it's gonna look like terrible, just driving over grass all the time. So,
Well, but the carport is not in the right, I mean, it's not legal.
the space that it's in.
Right. And as I say, I'm not gonna grant a variation for a carport that lasts forever. So you're gonna have to rethink this case. And, you know. Maybe. Well, I'm not gonna. Tell you how to do it or what to do, but. I think maybe we ought to get this continued and you ought to get a little help from some zoning professional that can give you some guidance. Is that okay with you if I continue this? Well, can I continue this to July 10? We filled up July 10.
Not yet. We just have to,
We have 3 cases if we continue this one to July 10.
Yeah.
And that doesn't give you much room for new cases. We're gonna have to have 2.
okay. That works.
Okay. I'm gonna continue your case to July 10. There won't be any enforcement if there's any violation notices. But you're gonna have to, and I would expect, based on what you said, that you're gonna move this and withdraw request number 2. And the others, you know, you might talk to the staff about some conditional use for a certain period of time or whatever. But I've said all I can say. So, I'm done unless you have anything else for today.
No, who would I, July 10th? Same thing?
Yeah, it's July 10 at 2:30, right here or by Zoom. And I need a survey that's gonna show me what you're asking for. Okay. And if you're gonna redo something, then I also need a site plan.
Okay, but moving the shed from where it's at, that you can see on there, just moving that 8 feet forward would be good. So,
I don't know. You have to determine what the setbacks are, but right now you are 22 feet. From the corner side setback and you need to be 30 feet.
So this is the shed we're talking about. Are you talking about I need to be 30 feet that way
From the, yeah, from the,
from my fence? 30
Line,
feet
right.
From my fence,
right,
or whatever the lot line is, just outside of my fence.
right,
So the shed would have to go this way.
yep. And from what you just showed me there, it looks like it's closer to the house, but I don't. Okay. And who's worked?
Building, I have, Paul, you can go up there.
Yeah, I'm ready to close the hearing. Let's close.